And this is the power of Facebook, is that you can keep in touch with people, figure out how to partner with folks, and I am so grateful for this man to give me this opportunity and to help coach me along the way. So.
And she killed it. We, ironically, are from Dayton, Ohio.
Yes, we are.
Ironically, went to elementary school together. Have known each other
Since we were 8 years old.
8 years old.
Oh, Lord.
I haven't talked to her since 3rd grade.
We are joining you right now from your studio in California.
Yes, this is my studio in Los Angeles, California.
Let's start with this. How about you tell us a little bit about your career journey? I want to hear about how you got from Dayton, Ohio to here and what you're doing now, how you have a studio, which is amazing.
What's up, y'all? This is Dion Lack, and this is...
I'm Nia Wa-Tenza.
Super excited for this promo, this video that we got going on right here. Obviously, something's about to happen. We're about to talk about something. For the 5th year anniversary, I thought it'd be a good idea to have an audiobook. And guess who I had the honor of finally working with?
Me. Nia Wa-Tenza, now known as Nia the Voice. So I am a voiceover artist, and I answered. He called. So we know that a lot of people are right now sitting at home thinking, oh, we're going into lockdown again with COVID. It's time to keep yourself busy some kind of way, and audiobooks are a new big thing. So we are going to talk today about the production that we've done in partnership to bring the Voyage of Truth series to audio.
She closes his folder and sits on the edge of the table. I'm so glad to finally meet you, Gray. It sucks that it's under these circumstances, but you're really hard to catch up with. Can I get you anything? Water, tea, or juice? I'll take a watermelon margarita, 2 olives, and the key to these handcuffs. She laughs. In due time. I just want to ask you a few questions first. Gray cries. Before you start, can I just ask who designed this room? I really like the upholsteries and the artwork. And don't get me started with the acoustics. It's begging me to sing. Grace sings a note and comically modulates a key. She smiles. They were right. I can see how your sense of humor can get you out of a lot of tight situations.
Describe in 30 seconds, what should the people expect? For those who are sci-fi fans, what are they going to get out of Voyage of Truth? Just give us a teaser.
Sure. Voyage of Truth is about 3 strangers who find truth into a deteriorating government that is full of lies, and they discover who they are inside themselves.
Sounds like this election, huh? Sounds like this election. Like a lot of people found truth in a government full of lies.
Yes.
We're not going to get to that too much. What drew you to sci-fi as a genre? I mean, sci-fi right now is getting a lot of love in the Black creative space. So starting with Black Panther, now we got Lovecraft Country that's just exploding. I've always loved sci-fi, you have too, but like what exactly was it that nudged you into it?
From a kid, I was a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That explains why they had 3 fingers. I've always been a fan of Marvel. Iron Man with the heel rockets and arm cannons. I wanted to create a hybrid of all my favorite heroes and then live out this dream of my sci-fi fantasy.
I grew up all brothers. My cousin was really big into sci-fi, so I kind of by default I was an X-Men girl. I still love the Marvel universe. But one of the things that I love so much about the genre of sci-fi is that there's always a deeper meaning into everything that you're reading. So you have this kind of, the facade of the superheroes or, the aliens or whatever. But there's a deeper storyline. So in Voyage of Truth, what is that deeper storyline that you want to make sure, without giving away, that people take away from this?
Don't rely on people, money, your position in power. It's always been in you.
So in case we lose anybody and if people don't stick around, one of the things we do want to tell you guys a little bit is that, as you can see, it's almost Christmas time. Black Friday is approaching. And we are doing a promo. So for the first 5 people requesting the book, we will actually provide you with the link to it for free. So we would love for you to hear it. We'd love for you to check it out, tell a friend about it. But that's something that we'll be providing you. So stay tuned, we'll give you that information. All right, Dion, so what did you get the people from our hometown of Dayton, Ohio in this book?
You peeped that in there.
I did.
So what I did was I hid a bunch of Easter eggs in this book. A lot of people in my family, a lot of street names. I snuck them in here. You find your name, find a personality. I'm sorry. I did it. All right.
You're there.
What is your takeaway with the book?
Oh boy. I thought that this book was quite spiritual. So often we grow up with the wool over our eyes, believing that things are at face value. Whatever we've learned in life, that's exactly how things are. And then you get to a certain age or certain experiences where you start to realize, wait, that's not correct. And sometimes you're the only person that is navigating that journey by yourself, where you can start to see things clearly, but everybody else can't. So I felt like that power of, like you said, believing in yourself, but also believing in your ability to actually understand your truth and connect to your truth and stand firm in it, because there always has to be that first person that takes that step before you can start to pull everybody else into it. So that's what I got out of it. I thought it was a very well written story and very, very powerful.
You know, it's funny, you're going for a different character. I was going from Nulo, you're going for Demon.
Exactly. So let's talk about the characters in the book. So tell them a little about Nulo.
So Nulo is the main character. He's just arrogant, pompous. It's always about me. You guys worship me. All that gets stripped away. You got to figure out, who are you? Who are you when all that is gone?
I would say that Dina was probably the character that I connected most with. So she's like the box checker, the person that's always done everything right. I have to show up to my shift. I have to do things a certain way. And she has a friend who kind of nudges her like, hey, look, there's some funky things going on. And she's like, nah, no, this is how I've always learned things to be. And it takes her a while to get to a point that she has to learn on her own what her own truths are. And so she kind of goes from being the straight-laced, do everything according to the plan, to actually going a little bit to being the renegade, which I think is kind of a cool transition to see. So do you have any projects that you're working on right now that you want to tell us about?
Yes. We have a Christmas script that we are shopping around, trying to find someone to buy it. Web series that we were planning on shooting in a couple months. We have a romantic comedy that we shot a couple years ago that we're about to release to the world. Yeah. How about you? What you working on?
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about how I got here. I think this is kind of giving a little bit of a Dina connection, but so I, since we left home, I actually have a clinical background. I went to school for sports medicine, ended up finding my way into sales for years. I worked in the healthcare industry for 15 years in the medical device and pharmaceutical and marketing. So I'm a marketing girl. I got to a point where I woke up one day and said, it's time for a career change. So I left my job as a director of marketing, but it just was time for me to do things that were more creative and more ownership of the projects that I wanted to do. So that's how I found voiceover work. So I actually have 4 books now that I've completed. I'm starting to work with different independent agencies doing, anything between e-learnings and narration. So, but I'm having fun and I'm enjoying it. I think that's what 2020 has been about, is just kind of, it's been change. It's been progression. And so I'm really excited about this. People will say, oftentimes we don't see people that are from the same town, or we don't see Black people working together. I think that's totally opposite of the truth, especially with you. So, Dion really wanted to reach out to people from his hometown to see if he can collaborate. It was a great project for me. It was a project very early on in my work. And so this man was such an amazing mentor, giving me great advice, great tips. So it was such a powerful partnership, and I really, really appreciate you for that, for taking the chance and saying, hey, I want to reach out and bring somebody into the fold that may not have as much experience with this, but that I can actually develop. So I appreciate that of you. I really hope that we can continue to see more of that in our community, and I think it was powerful for me.
I couldn't have asked for a better person, man, because she was so patient. She was open for criticism. Give me some critiques. How does it sound? And I gave her the critiques, and she took them.
It was great. Actually, let's just talk about that for a second, how an audiobook is created, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who want to know about that.
Let me go back further. Self-publishing. Definitely write your own book, and Amazon, KDP will walk you through everything. Children's book to novels to graphic novels, they'll literally walk you through everything. They will literally make these for you and mail it out. You will never see it. You will never have to mail it off to anybody. You'll do it yourself. So from there, you can transfer all this information to ACX, and that's where I hooked up with her.
Exactly. So ACX is a platform, and it stands for Audiobook Creation Exchange.
I did not know that.
Fun fact. So that's actually owned by Audible and Amazon, I believe, is the partnership. So what they do is it basically become like a matchmaker. It's like a Tinder for independent authors and for narrators. So you can actually find people that you want to audition for your book. The narrators do all the narration and the editing, put the book together. But the audiobook process is a lot more time consuming than I think a lot of people realize. It is literally like doing a one man or woman show. And so when we first started, I think one of the things that was really cool is I said, Dion, I got to figure out a way that they can all be unique. So we had to really get to know the characters.
Right.
I had to get to know Gray, and Gray is kind of gruff. So, he kind of got a little bit of a Staten Island accent. And we had to get to know Dina and Nulo. And so there was a lot of fun bringing those characters to life. But it very much is acting. My process is I would read it chapter by chapter, get a feel of what's going on with the chapter, and then you perform. You just get into it. And sometimes you're switching from one character to the next, to the narrator's neutral voice. And so it can be pretty time consuming, making sure that you stick the characters right, and also making sure that you are reading it correctly. Yeah, so for those who like to consume literature but can't take the time to sit and put eyes to paper, it's a great source. And
where to go.
absolutely. So we really hope that people get into it, that they love it, that they buy it.
Yes. Please support this book.
So one thing that we didn't talk about is another thing that was kind of fun about collaborating and partnering after I don't think I've seen you in like maybe 25 years. What is one thing that you remember about me from Edison Elementary, 3rd grade? Was it Miss Saunders' class? I feel like that was Miss Saunders' class. What do you remember?
Every time we tried to talk to her, her face was in these books.
I was a nerd.
She was super, super smart. She was about her books. It was you and, was it?
Brene Garrison, that's my girl. Brene, Yvonne
Garrison.
Shackelford, Letitia Lovett. Shout out to all the Edison old school.
And her brother put the fear in everybody.
Two of them, twin brothers.
Two brothers put the fear in everybody. Do not mess with my sister.
So I guess that may be where my love affair for books comes back in, because I was a straight up nerd, bookworm. I used to have the big bottle rocket glasses too. What I remember about you. So I think if somebody would have told me that you grew up and became an accountant, I would be like, because you were the class clown.
Oh, man.
You were Mr. Creative. You always had a nice snapback. You always had a joke. I just remember a smile, laughter, like a lot of good energy. That's what I remember. So to see that you coming to this space, it makes total sense. I can't see you doing anything else. All right, so what do we want the people to know? We want them to...
Please reach out to us. We're only giving away how many?
5.
5 promo codes for the audiobook. So DM us, inbox us ASAP, because they're gonna go fast.
Right, but it's also Christmas time. Again, we're going into Christmas time. You can get a virtual stocking stuffer. You can buy this for somebody.
You can buy the book and
what we'll do is we'll drop the link as well so that you can find the link to get directly to the book. We love for you to support the project. We love for you also to leave some reviews. Let us know if you really enjoyed it, if you liked it. That'll really help us to get other people to buy it and to read into it. We're really excited about the project, and I have to say, you're an amazing writer. So great job. Well done. Happy holidays. So November of 2019, I got this urging feeling that it was time for me to follow my dreams. I'd been working in a career for 15 years that was not satisfying. I learned a lot from it, but I wasn't excited about it. And so I decided to take a leap. I had no plan. I had no strategy. I just really jumped off the cliff. And one of the things that I did was I just figured out, what did I love and what was I passionate about? And one of the things that came about was voiceover work. So that's how I got to where I am now, which I don't regret for a day. And it seems like it was perfect timing now when I look back. But at the moment, it was a little bit scary, but it was so worth it.